Yay, we are here. We are here. We are here. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is time for another one of our Your Intimate Path Retreat speaker interviews. This evening, I have Nicole LaShea. She is our coming to you and going to talk to you about wellness. She is a certified life coach, a certified weight loss specialist, and she has so many other hats that we're going to talk about tonight. For those of you, this may be your first time jumping in. My name is Andrea Merriman. I am your creative harmony coach and master domestic violence help coach. I'm also the producer of all of our Tea and Pearl sister gatherings. And once a year, we do a major sister gathering and come together for our Intimate Path retreat. This year, we have some phenomenal speakers coming in. We have every year, but this year is like special. We have so many coming in that we're going to take a holistic approach to making you better so you can do better, so you can serve better, so you can be. So if you are an advocate, if you're a minister, if you're any type of servant leader working with other people, this retreat is for you. And this year, what we're going to do is work on inner healing from a completely artistic approach, wellness approach, therapist. I mean, just getting your book out, all those things that you need. So if you have not already registered and that's something you're interested in, make sure you join us. Go ahead and listen today because you're going to be super excited to meet Nicole and you're going to be wanting to see her in person. And so go ahead and invite those that you think may need to be there with you, especially if you want to bring your good girlfriend so that she can be with you and you guys can put this together. Or if you want to bring your husband, because that's how y'all do together. A family that heals together stays together. So I just want you to go ahead and share it out. And hey, Gerard, welcome, welcome, welcome. So go ahead and share this to people that you think may be interested, and so they can come in and join us. And Nicole, hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. And so, Nicole, as I said, is our wellness coach. She's a certified weight loss specialist, certified health coach, wellness advocate, health consultant, and CEO of Well Balanced Life. That's what she does. And in her free time, she works in corporate as an RN. And you're going to love Coach Nick. I do from the time that I've met her. And her thing this year is choose me in 2023. And she's going to tell you why she chose that. But I've heard her story and heard her talk about her personal challenges that she went through. So she understands these things firsthand. So she's not only bringing her expertise and her certifications and schooling, but she's bringing you some expert lived experience so that she can empower you to be that person that you want to be, that's passionate, lose the weight, identify those pain points that are keeping you with the weight so you can get rid of it, stop stress eating, and we're just going to talk. I'm just going to talk to Nicole. Nicole, tell us all about why you have decided. I mean, you're at RN, so you help people at work, but you've decided to build a business around that and just help women just not stress eat. And I know all about that. So just tell them a little bit more about you and what that looks like.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for that beautiful introduction. She hit spot on, and I am super passionate about this area of health and wellness. I am passionate about women. Always have been. Started when I was a little itty bitty girl. And I have been an athlete since I was about in the fourth grade. So I was not the one who necessarily had an issue with weight management all the way throughout middle school, high school, even into college. I ran track and field cheered, and so have always been an athlete. And when I got married the first time, and that's a key word, the first time, just for some of you, when we talk about life's experiences and why certain people are qualified. But when I got married the first time, um, after having my first child, I noticed, the little baby fat weight, and that was fairly easy to get off. And then I had a second baby, and that was fairly easy. It wasn't as easy to get off. I was an aerobic instructor at the time. I was a personal trainer at the time, and really believed in walking the talk and looking the look. And so, sometime in that first marriage, I think after maybe the second child, I was doing some goal setting and listing, and I started putting priorities on a board. And I had God first, and my husband, and my children, then the job. And at that time, I wasn't really working a full-time job. I was, because I was a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling. But I was still, like I say, personal training and doing some group instruction. Have always kept up my license for a registered nurse. So I did a little bit of that here and there as well. But as I was listening, I was nowhere. I don't mean like three, four, five, or even at the bottom. I was not on the list. And so this is something that goes way back. My first my first child is 19 now. So this was probably, I don't know, maybe about 10 or so years ago. And I noticed that I was not on the list. And I thought, I I mean, I can't do any of this if I don't take care of me. So that seed was planted probably in 2015. A couple of years later, Well Balanced Life was birthed because I was in a state of I was in a season where everything was out of balance, and I believe that's the way where God called me. And I thought, really, you're calling me? I feel like everything is out of balance. I had just gotten a divorce. I was now going from a different lifestyle of homeschooling and kind of doing my side hustles to having to go back into the workforce full time, trying to figure out if I wanted to continue to homeschool, that type of thing. And so that did not, that was not working in that season. And I had to make some serious, serious decisions. So I went ahead and went back into the workforce. And then it was kind of like from one extreme to the other and just working, 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 working. Remarried again. And of course, that took us into the pandemic. And the pandemic, for me, like many others, was like coming to Jesus moment. And it just seemed like in those last, from about 2016, 17 through 22, it just seemed like a whirlwind, like a hurricane, like a tornado. And when you have the aftermath of all of that, think about a natural disaster. And when you have to go back and you're looking at all the destruction, and you have to go back and you have to pick out the pieces that you can bring into your forward life. And then there's some things that you have to leave because they're totally destructed. And that was kind of where I was. And in that, I had picked up more weight than I had ever picked up in my entire life. So I'm pushing almost 250 pounds. And mind you, for some, that might not be a lot. And for some, that might be a whole lot. That was a whole lot for me because I'd never been above like 160, 150s, 160s. And so I realized that I was tired. I had a knee injury. I was waking up tired, and I wasn't even I was like mid 40s at this point. And so I felt, okay, I have got to make some changes. And I started out with a water challenge that one of my peers was having. And the rest is history. Lost 35 pounds, kept it off for a few years. And that brings us up to choosing me in 23. Had a couple of rough years in the past couple of years. So we went up to 21, that was 21, 22 was pretty good. And then I don't know, towards the end of or actually 2021, and this last year, let me say, has been definitely quite a challenge. And when I came into the year, my vision, the business branding started changing, and I started looking like, whereas before I was focused on weight and weight loss, not only because I've always done some coaching, but just weight loss and getting that weight off. And as I started shifting, I started having many women coming to me and saying, hey, how do I keep the weight off when I'm really, really stressed? How do I not stress eat? And backstory, I didn't even know that I had an issue with stress eating because I had been so athletic, where probably about 10 years ago, I was entering into a challenge, and I realized that I had a eating disorder, because stress eating is in that realm of eating disorder, right? Stress eating is can become a disease, because obviously stress eating can lead to gluttony, and gluttony can lead to a lot of health issues, which can lead to death eventually. And so it's a obesity is a very serious epidemic in our country, and I felt that I needed to do something for me first. And if I didn't put that oxygen on first, it's kind of like you go on that plane. If you don't put the oxygen on first, then you can't help anyone else. And I thought about my children. I have a 15-year-old and a 19-year-old. And I thought, how can I help them? How can I nurture them the way that the word says to, if I am not nurturing myself? And so way back when my name was not on the board that went all the way up to the top. So my motto now is me first, after God, and then you. And you all fit in that circle, because we have got to, as business owners, as leaders, as moms, as just women maintaining our households, whatever role we fit in, we wear a lot of hats, and we have got to make sure that we can be the best balanced person that we can be, so that we can ultimately take care of those around us, whether it's personal or on the job. So that brought me to the choosing me in 23, because we don't. And my vision is to empower women that are I want to see women who are empowered, who are embracing their soul and self-care, who are claiming their peace and walking in victory, so that they can thrive in their best balanced life. So that's kind of what brought me up to the choosing me in 2023. So everything that I do this year is really honing in on you being the best you that you can be, so that you can help others be the best them they can be.
Awesome, 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 awesome sauce. And I love hearing that every time I hear it. And it's just, a couple things stuck out because I can see after all that why the choose you, because so many times we don't choose me. I don't choose me, you don't choose you, mommies just don't choose mommies. And and especially if you've been through something and you really think, and I heard you talk about the divorce and the places there, and if you're like most of us, when you went through that divorce piece, that meant I need to take care of my kids. I need to make sure this doesn't impact my kids so much. I need to make sure that my kids have this, and your kids had all the things they needed, but mommy still wasn't functioning at par. And so I love it that you finally made that decision. But there was a couple things that you said. One, and that was that piece about um, not being on the board yourself, and having to look at that and notice that. The other thing that resonated with me, because I'm fighting obesity and working through, but I was 43 before I realized I was a stress eater. Been this way my whole life, never been skinny, always, thought food was my best friend, but never realized that it was a process of stress eating. And so with you, how did you realize that was what was happening?
Well, initially at the time, I was working for a chiropractor, and I would be out in the field. And I think, yeah, you cannot always judge a book by its cover. So I was the picture of health, like fit, not no fat on, looking real good, and it had lots of energy. But we had to go in, and I remember the gift was a Vitamix, because mine is still sitting downstairs several years later. And we had to go in, and there was a prize for the person with the best testimony story. And so I had to write it out and I had to think about it. And it was a weight loss where you had to lose, they were measuring body fat and they were measuring weight. And so I didn't lose a lot of weight. And I didn't really have a whole lot then to lose, but I did need to lose some body fat. And my body fat percent at the time, I think it was like 30 something. And then by the time I finished with the challenge, it was like 12. And I had to sit back and because a lot of people weigh weight as they step on the scales and they think, oh, I'm X amount of weight and I'm good. But there's so many different components that factor in to weight. And so as I was writing the testimony, it came to me my journey with food and how I deem food, because now this was, I think it was a 30-day, and we couldn't have any sweets, no sugars, no refined, no breads. It was all protein, good protein, and veggies, green leafy, not the starchy veggies, and just water. And this was for 30 days. Now I'm a foodie. I'm still a foodie. I just have to be very intense. I love some food. I love good food. I'm not talking about necessarily home cooking. So I will try any cuisine anywhere. I love trying out new foods. And so what happened is I looked at that and I thought, I I remember failing the test for diabetes when you're pregnant, gestational diabetes. The night before, this was so silly, and I was a nurse. Okay, so this was extra silly. I remember the night before having to go get that test done. I ate a whole bag of white donuts, those white Debbie whatever donuts. And it was nothing for me to eat those. Failed the test. And it made me think about how I binged on certain things. Now I wasn't binging to vomit, but I would eat a whole bag of anything, a whole bag of my favorite pecan twirls. I'd eat a whole them honey buns. I would go, I mean, I and when I was during this challenge, it was hard. No sugar, that was hard. And I would put down two sandwiches on white bread. I feel like I'm gonna vomit even when I say it. On white bread, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch every single day, on top of potatoes and French fries and stuff like that. So I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about when I'm stressed and when I eat the most of that, and it was when I was stressed. That is considered a disorder, and we think of anorexia, and we think of the binge where people go and throw up, and we think of all that. No, it's a very broad range of there's a very broad range of where those food disorders fall on. And so that's kind of my awareness of, oh, this is a problem. And we always default to what's familiar. So over the years, sometimes I have found myself getting right back in that space. And I don't think I mentioned, but I went through my second divorce, actually just became final last year. And those were some challenging times. You're talking the pandemic, deaths of loved ones, family, death of relationships. I got into the 50s chapter, so there were some death of some friendships, a whole bunch of stuff going on, because grief from death can look a lot different. And then had a very close friend die at the end of the year. So there was a lot. And I thought, who better than myself to help somebody get through some stuff in their largest stressful moments. So yeah, that was my awareness that I
So you
had.
went through all of that without the white donuts.
I haven't had a white donut probably since. And that's my daughter's 19, so that was many, many, many. But now I don't want to make it seem like I didn't have some other stuff.
No, no, we ain't talking about them. We're talking about your favorites.
The
We're
white
talking about
donuts.
your favorites.
No white donuts.
Well, good, good, good. But and the reason I said that, because, like I said myself, it took me through everything that I've been through to. I think I had gotten upset about something, and my first thought was, I'm going to buy a hamburger, and it dawned on me, why is that my first thought of anger? And I was angry at somebody else But my first thought was, and I'm gonna tell you what I heard. I heard the Lord tell me that it was just like people. Not only I understood it was um, like an alcoholism disease, but it was also another form of suicide. It was just a slow process, and that hit me like a rock. And I had to go home and think about that. And that hamburger didn't taste the same. Them French fries didn't taste the same no more. And I thought, ooh, that was deep. I'm like, that was deep. I wasn't ready for that one. Did you? I asked what was the problem, but I didn't. I wasn't ready for that. And so I really had to take myself through some things after I figured it out to figure out what was triggering, what was causing. I myself had to do some tapping and some, oils and all the things I do to just realize that. And now I still struggle with um, that sometimes, but so now it's just to getting back and understanding what that looks like. But that's why I ask, because it's a process. It's a process.
It's definitely a process, and I love that you called it what it was, addictive behaviors. And that's the thing about addictive behaviors, because when you take out one addictive behavior, gluttony, eating too much, spending too much money, gambling, um, all the sexual addictions and porn addictions and um, alcohol, and it's an addiction. Like, not, they're different, but it's still an addiction, and every single one of them can lead to death. And we self sabotage. And you said something that really stood out to me. I'm thinking, we don't honor ourselves like we honor other people, especially those of us who provide services for others. You have many other nurses out there, and coaches like that cover a slew of things, and we will help somebody else. If you my girlfriend and you call me and I'm like, girl, now you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. We honor our friends more than we honor ourselves. You said, I somebody hurt me or made me upset or triggered me. Then I went, now you were already inflicted, right? You already felt
Right,
like the
right, right,
victim.
right, right.
So you already felt like inflicted. Then you gonna go add some more on top of that and self harm and self sabotage yourself by going, and let me just be real. A hamburger all by itself is not real. That's not. It's all the stuff that comes with that. You got your sandwich and you gonna put your stuff up there, because ain't nobody gonna eat just no plain hamburger unless you, I don't know. I know there are people who do that, but we ain't gonna eat just no plain hamburger. We gonna all the fixings and everything. So it's not. Look, it's not about the food. It's never about the food. It's about, like you said, in your this retreat that we're having. This is about your inner care, your inner soul, that healing. It's how do you cope? How do you cope? And sometimes we're bound by so much fear, and fear presents itself in so many different ways. That's what I do. And with Well Balanced Life, one of the very first things I do after figuring out what your values are is how we identifying these pain factors, that these pain points, and then fear factors. Because the word of God says that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. That's kind of one of my foundational scriptures, because once you become aware of some things, then you can be empowered. Once you can learn how to love yourself, yes, love God, but love yourself, then you can walk in your empowerment so that you can help others gain peace once you have peace. And so that was really good. That whole, look, if you take out one thing, then you're going to find something else if you're not whole and if you don't have that inner
Right.
healing. That's just the bottom line. They do it all the time. Oh, let's stop smoking, so we're going to give you a patch, or let's go get a vape. It's there's still, you haven't got delivered from the thing. And I just
But
want to
the
get
right, right.
yeah, you got to get to the root. We got to pluck the root, and sometimes roots go way, 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 way deep, way deep. We got to pluck the root.
And that's the thing. And I know this weekend coming up in September, we're not going to cure everybody, but I know that who we have coming with each piece is going to plant that foundation to get deeper. Like you said, sometimes you have to go deeper. But I guarantee anybody that shows up will not leave on Sunday the way that they came Friday if they do the work. It is going to be virtually impossible because of the caliber of people that are coming and the heart that they have, the message God is delivering. I mean, we have everything from, like I said, coaching, therapists come in, counselors come in, occupational therapists, you know, crafting, pastors, story writers. We even bringing you a historical musical just so you can understand the history behind how music heals. Come on, gospel music, the story behind how they work through that. So, and there's just so much that's going to be there. Like, you know how when you're putting a program together and you want to do something for the visual people and you want to do something for the auditory and something workshop for the people who need to use their hands. We're doing all that too. But then we're going for the people that need a spiritual healing, the people that need to work on their body, the people that need to work on their spirit so that they can work on their body, the people that like to do crafts, the people that want to get outside. Nicole, I heard you said we were going to have to go outside. And I know you're stretching me. And it's beautiful out there. I mean, in those mountains is absolutely beautiful. But I be watching them from a distance, like out the window. Isn't that pretty out there? But if you're gonna make us go outside, I'm ready to go. Whew. I even went to the Y today, so I'll be ready to walk outside with you. How about that?
I definitely I love that. I love the enthusiasm and I love the outdoors. And I if we have a good day that's not 100 degrees like it was here today, we absolutely will take advantage, even if it's just for the first 10 or so minutes. So I want you to stretch yourself. And I'm looking forward to this because I'm going to be launching something that's been near and dear to me for a long time that incorporates some breath work, stretching, affirmations, and also the movement piece. So I'm really super excited to uh, to be introducing because what we don't understand is that we have these internal blockages that sometimes hinder us from actually being the best balanced persons that we can be. And this particular session that we will do when I see you, when you get there, when I meet you one on one and face to face. This particular thing right here is going to end. It's going to, and if you want to know what it's called, you're going to have to be there. So I'm not even. I was going to share it with you, but it's just movement to release internal blockages and release burdens that have served to stifle you in your forward movement and your life design. And there's so many benefits of movement, but it's not going to be just your regular movement. So if you think you're coming for like a regular aerobics class or something like that, it's not going to be just that. It definitely will be something a little different than what you have seen. I might do a little something that's familiar. People like familiar in the beginning, first 5 minutes, but it will be something a little bit different. And it's something that's going to enhance your emotional well-being and increase your focus and concentration, improve your sleep quality, increase energy, vitality, digestion, elimination, so many other things, immune. So I am excited. And look, I believe in going outside because vitamin D is Mother Nature's antibiotic. Okay. When I don't feel well, I'll go outside and I don't care how hot it is, I will go outside and get me that vitamin D and can stay out there all day long. And just food for thought for some of you, you can take them shoes off when the asphalt is not so hot and really ground yourself and go outside and walk too. Now I know some of you are gonna be looking at me like, right, really? Yeah, really. That was free.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, I'm working. I'm like, psyching myself up for this because I know. But when you said something that caught my mind was I remember when we started talking about this retreat, and it was what, February, March, and you were talking about, well, I'm working on this program, and I said, awesome, you can launch it in September. You can just bring it out and you can be done, and you're like, huh? I remember that.
You are really good about I tell you in the relationship building, because we've just known each other since the top of the year, and it's definitely been a joy, and I've definitely have grown, and she definitely has stretched me in so many ways even that she doesn't know. But yeah, that was really funny because I was just sharing, we were in conversation. I was like, yeah, I got this little movement piece and I'm doing. She was like, oh yeah, you can unlaunch that. I was like, do what? What? And she stretched me to go ahead and work it and get it. So I'm excited. I'm very grateful that she did, because what was I waiting for? I should have did it a long time ago, right?
See. So I'm super excited that you're trusting us to try it on us and to just allow us to be um, privy to the beginning of it,
Yeah,
because
that
I know it's going to be something wonderful, some great people. Um, Everybody that has registered is super excited. We have quite a few people, almost double what we had at the retreat last year. And it is, everyone has been like watching these lives and send me some messages after the speakers have like been receiving downloads from God. And I just know it's going to be a phenomenal time. We have people come in from like literally all ends of this state. I mean, these states, um, California, Virginia, I mean, Tennessee. So we're just going to come and get together and just have a great, amazing, healing time. And I know what you're bringing is going to enhance the other pieces, because I think all of this that we're having this year in September is actually just, it's really putting the pieces of the puzzle together. I can really see if people are wanting to step out of their comfort zone and not even realize that they're focusing. See, I think that's what's going to happen a lot. I think there's going to be some people who did not realize that they are operating in their comfort zone, that they think they've stepped out, they think they're doing something new. And actually, what has happened is that spot has come a new comfort zone. And when you start digging, go ahead. Well, I was just saying, when you start digging into those roots, you realize, how you've just made it into another comfortable space.
That's really good, and I'm super excited too. So for all of you who are going to be coming and signing up, first of all, I don't want you to wait till it's too late, because I know how we do. We wait until the last minute, and then you'll mess around, and then you won't get a ticket at all. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I know for myself, this is going to be my first retreat, and what I'm super excited about is that, typically when you go and you're speaking at a retreat, sometimes you show up, you go, and then you do your thing, and then you can leave. And but this is like, it's for leaders, and I'm a leader. Well, guess what? This is for me too. So this is for you, and I get to pour into all of you, but then I get to get poured into, and from the beginning to the end. And so I am super excited to be on the participant side as well as being on the presenter side. That is, I'm like, and I'm excited. I'm like, gosh, that's a lot. That's my jam. All of that stuff. I want to do all of it. And so I and it's exciting to do it with women, being with a bunch of women who are powerful and who get together, and we lock arms and we get in the room and we start doing our thing, and that energy starts flowing. Nothing but healing can happen. Nothing but healing can happen. Healing, deliverance, and we'll have testimonies and all of that. And then it's just it's gonna be great. So I'm really excited to be on both ends of it, and really looking forward to seeing you all there, and getting to know some new faces, and just having a good weekend getaway with some girl time, some good soul care. We can't hear you.
I said I just wanted to bring up a couple of things that you said. One, if you want to register, this is the last weekend you can get registered. I was actually turning it off on Friday, but I think I'll hold it through Saturday night, maybe Sunday. But definitely by Monday, registration will be cut off. So if you are planning to come, if you think you want to come and you want to participate, then you need to register this weekend because after by Monday, no, there will be no registration. The other part is if you live in the area and you're wanting to come just to the entertainment on Friday night at 7 p.m., um, message me, let me know. We have special seating tickets for that. There is a fee, but it's a minimal fee. Also, you mentioned about not only pouring into, but being poured back. That has been something that has been a key, wonderful space for me because every year I've had speakers, they've stayed the whole time because it was just so phenomenal. They wanted to be able to participate as well as give. So I think that's going to be really good because not only are they going to say, okay, here's my turn, but now I can just enjoy and be able to leave again with something. So, like, I don't want to hold you because I know I appreciate you taking time out for this. But is there anything you would like to leave everybody with before I play my tribute and wrap this up?
Well, I do want to say thank you very much for having me. Thank you for taking the time out to give me the opportunity to really talk about what my passion is and helping others and getting the message of well balanced life in there, which is that it's not too late for you to take the oxygen and put it on first. You still have breath until you take your last breath. It's never too late. And so I just want to encourage you all that no matter what season you are in your life, because to everything there is a season, whatever season you're in, make the most of it, make the best of it. Remember to choose you and get you a ticket because I didn't know that this weekend was the last weekend to get a ticket. So I needed the I got something I need to do too. But definitely if for some reason your weekend is going to be shot, come out and enjoy the night of entertainment because I've seen some snippets and I'm like, I need to go buy some tickets just so for that piece alone. But yes, stay encouraged. Know that it's never too late. It's never too late for you to take that oxygen and put it on first. Choose you, honor you first.
Thank you for that. And the reason is that this is the last weekend is because we've actually sold all the tickets. So we're at the point that I can have them add more to it. But it's at the crunch time. So that's why. So that's a good thing. So if you've been thinking about it, they're still open to let me add a few more rooms in there while they still have space. But I don't want to chance it after this. So that's why. So that's a good thing. That's how good this is going to be. And so, as always, as we're here, I want to go ahead and play my tribute. So, because for those of you who don't know, this may be your first time, I always do this, and the reason is so you can understand why our sister, our Team Pearl sister gatherings are so important to me, and why healing from the inside out is so important to me, and why I do this year because I believe that without doing that, that we continue to have domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, childhood trauma. And by me losing my 17-year-old in 2014 to a murder of her by her brother-in-law, then I don't want any other mother to have to bury her child. and especially to domestic violence. So that is my reason. And I understand that it's something that needs to be talked about as we have done in these conferences. It needs to be talked about in our churches. It needs to be talked about in our schools, in our communities, and in our homes. It is no longer something that needs to be kept secret, and we need to educate our young women and our young men. We can educate our young women on how to notice the signs, but how about if we educate our young men on how to control themselves and how to nurture and take care of the people that they have been put in charge of, as in a family? And I don't mean put in charge and you're in charge of this, but that you have been given a help meet for you. And even in dating violence, and I say this all the time, that teen dating violence should never be in the same sentence. Those letters, I mean, those words should never go together. But yet we have dedicated February every year to talking about that. That tells you that this epidemic of hurting each other has become so normal that our teenagers think it's okay. So, as we do this, as we go into this retreat, if you are someone who have experienced domestic violence and are now in a place of giving back, and you are serving others in the community, I just want to play this and then we will end up. So, give me just a moment.
This is a tribute to Jennifer. Jennifer was a 17-year-old that lost her life to domestic violence. Jennifer was intelligent, respectful, and learned to live her life to the fullest. She danced by the beat of her own music, inspiring everyone she met. Jennifer embraced reality with a humorous and empathetic attitude, empathizing with those in need. Her legacy to help families continues with the Jennifer Y. Merriman Help Program, a program that offers hope, empowerment, life skills, and preventive methods against domestic violence. If you or someone you know are ready to rebuild your life, reach out at jymhelpprogram.com/referral form. We are ready to help you.
Again, thank you, Nicole, for saying yes to the retreat. Thank you for joining me here tonight. And I hope you have a wonderful night. And to everyone else, I always continue to pray that you have hope, harmony, and happiness in your life. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you.